What is going on, family and friends? Welcome to our Smooth Club podcast, a show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. We have a special theme show we're doing today. As you know, today is the last day for early voting, and so we're gonna do like a pre-election theme show today. We have a lot of guests, jam-packed show. We have local candidates, we have community leaders, we have political commentators coming on board on the show later on. So let me go ahead and bring also my co-host, Mr. Cam Golly. What's going on, brother? What's going on with you?
Chilling, man. What's good with you? How's your week?
Man, busy, can't complain. It was celebrating my aunt's birthday yesterday. Her birthday's actually going to be on Wednesday, but we kind of did an early surprise party for her. She's turning big 6'3", but you know, I always mess with her and be like, you 36, because she looked 36, but she's 63. So shout out to
all
Auntie.
that matters.
Shout out to
Auntie.
That's right. That's right. We had a great time, man. But how about yourself, man? How are you doing?
Pretty good. Busy work week. We had a little celebration on the job last night. I'm still feeling it right now.
Yeah, you sound a little groggy, man. You look a little tired. You good? You good?
Definitely tired. But I'm here rocking, man. I'm here rocking, ready to go.
There you go. Well, man, I'm so excited. You know, like I said, we got a important show today. You know, we always love to have fun on the show, but we also want to inform. And you know, hey, it's election season. Your vote, your voice is very important for, you know, young people out there to get more in touch with your local elections and, you know, candidates and things like that. So this is really what this show is going to be on, just informative, getting in touch with some of the candidates running and hearing it from them on how important it is to vote. So we're going to bring a familiar face on right now, our good friend, Mr. Carlos Clanton, my good brother. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, well, good afternoon. I mean, you know, you're losing track of time. You know, all we can do is get to
exactly. Man. So Carlos is the right now the Norfolk school board chairman. He's up for re-election for Ward 3. Ward 3. As you see, I got my support cards right here. There you go. Mm-hmm. He was on the show a while ago. Great dude. Carlos, man, how's everything going with your campaign at the moment?
It's going well. My team, we're out with our t-shirts now. You know, and literally t-shirts, and I'm really shocked to say in November I'm in shorts today. Because it's humid as I don't know what. But
you got the legs out, man. You got the legs out today.
I got the legs out today, getting my steps in. But today is the last day of early voting, and so I know here in Norfolk, people have been voting since 9 a.m. today. They've got until 5 o'clock. They can go to Norfolk City Hall. My team members, volunteers are out there to greet individuals. But man, we're out. I'm knocking on doors. My mail piece, just the second of 2, just went out there, and we're just getting the message out. Digital, you know, we've got different things that are going there. Just trying to educate voters, because you know it's a little challenging when you don't know what's going on or who the candidates are, and you get there and then you get bum rushed, and it's kind of like and so we don't want people to get bum rushed or duped into this voting because of some emotional knee-jerk, rather than really looking at where people stand on the policies and the issues.
Yeah, that's a great question too. Or I'm not question, but since you brought that up, do you think it's important for like some of the local candidates to have like party affiliation like in front of their name, or do you think that's actually good that they keep them as far as like nonpartisan? Because that's kind of like the back and forth thing when people go to vote. You have a lot of one party groups handing out flyers to be like, hey, look, vote for this person because if you want to vote for that. But what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, honestly, the last hope that we had was really left in local elections, because local elections were to be nonpartisan. That's why we don't have a D or an R or an independent an I next to them. We're just candidates running. Now, of course, there's alignments, and people have their different party affiliations, but it's really supposed to be an opportunity where 9 out of 10 times you're gonna see me walking in the grocery store or walking into your Wawa or Walmart, and you're gonna ask me questions, which people do all the time. So it gets challenging. You don't want to get so blindsided where you're just kind of voting on a party ticket. But that's where it's so important to be able to research, be able to provide. Like, I have an entire website. People can find out every issue, my priorities. I mean, I've been very detailed to everything that I've done, to everything I want to continue to do, so that I try to think about the voter in the respect of what they may ask for. And as I'm asked questions along the campaign trail, I go in and add new stuff and responses to it. But no, I don't think it should just be a blind, because I'm gonna be honest, every Democrat ain't good for you and every Republican ain't good for you. And so you got to look at where people stand on the issues and really, what's in the best interest and what matches up and meshes up with your belief system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. Cam, you want to tie into that, man?
No, I mean what he's saying. I'm in 100%. I actually it'll never happen because too much money is involved. But I wish we would get rid of the parties altogether. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like that would be the only way we would get the right person in the office. But I mean, that's a pipe dream. So
we can always dream. Dreams do come true. Sometimes. Dreams do come true.
Well, it gets into this whole other thing of, we don't have ranked choice voting in Virginia. And there's a movement with that to try to get that going. And I've looked at some pros and some cons of it, but it's supposed to essentially be where you can pick your top three, if there's more than one candidate in there, so that, like, in Georgia, if Warnock and Herschel Walker don't get, neither one of them get 50%, they're automatically going to a runoff, which costs more money. But in this kind of ranked choice voting system, you wouldn't have to do that because it all be tabulated up front. Who's your first, second, or third until somebody gets to 50% or more. And then that forces you to kind of say, well, you may not be my first choice, or you may not be that party choice. But, you do have some things that I can agree with. And I think that is an attempt and a first step to try to bring it down, because too much now we're in too many corners. We were drawing too many lines, and one thing that I've really prided my campaign on is that we've been very positive. There has not been one negative attack ad coming out. Though, some people are like, yo, you need to really go for that. But that's not the tenor that I want. I want people to, it's enough that people look at the politics. We look at this time, and every time we turn the TV is an ad. There's a package. And I mean, everybody is evil. And it's just kind of like, man,
to the point you don't even see the candidate in their own commercials anymore.
No, not at all. And so that's one thing I will say about local, even in the school board. But I'm running for school board, but this is critically important. The first places you can start to try to indoctrinate is to start changing policy of what's being taught. Well, we approve textbooks. We approve, what book's going to be used to teach your history or your Virginia history. And so, that's the first kind of like safeguard to kind of protect, well, what type of history do we want to be taught? Do we want it to be washed out, or we want the truth? And so there's an attack on public education, attack on particularly urban. Norfolk is the largest urban school division in the Commonwealth. And so there's an attack there. And, utilizing now an entire pandemic that we went through where everybody suffered to try to come out here and say, well, look, see what we told you? We're failing the public education. It's like, we just came out of a pandemic. Can you fully fund public education from the Commonwealth? Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that you don't fund 100% all the teachers. And that falls back on the locality. So the specialists and the people that we need to ensure public education and to support it and to stop this vicious cycle, you're not helping. So that's one thing. It's not just the people around that I have to have these arguments and debates with, but I'm taking on the governor. I'm taking on others to bring it in and say, look, let's work together. I'm willing to work with anybody, but I'm going to call you out when you're not doing what you're supposed to do to support my children.
Yeah.
Man, 110%, man. 100. That is awesome. That is awesome. And look, to go back on the campaign ads, I was listening to a person talking about how you have politicians now that are strictly advertisers or people actually that's focusing on their campaign. And when they have so many, attack ads, you're just advertising. You're not even what is your key issues? Like Cam, like you said, you start losing focus on who's a candidate? Who we voting for again? It's just is extremely childish, but it's starting to happen closer and closer until it gets to, as we get to November 8th, election day. So we're going to continue to see them more and more and more. But Carlos, man, we appreciate you. And what can how can people continue to support your campaign? This is the last day for early voting, but hey, election day is November 8th. So what can we do to help?
Yeah, today is the last day of early voting. If you can't make it today, election day is this coming Tuesday. Starts at 6 a.m. in the morning for those early risers and goes all the way to 7 o'clock that evening. As long as you are in line before 7 o'clock hits and that poll worker comes out, you will be able to vote. The other thing out there, and I hope you guys, it's a little confusing because every city is a little different. But, in Virginia, they passed the law now that if you haven't registered to vote, that you can register to vote and vote on the same day this year. They're not saying a whole lot about that because there's a whole lot of stipulations, particularly in Norfolk. In order for it to happen, if you live in the Norview precinct and that's where you're supposed to vote at, then you can only register and vote at that precinct. So if you over at Lambert's Point and you try to do it, you can't do it. So I would encourage individuals to go check with the registrar if you still want to participate in that process there. But if you are registered to vote, get out and vote. And the same thing, and I'll say it again in this respect. Don't say nothing on November 9th if you didn't get out there and cast your vote. As far as I'm concerned, you ain't got nothing to say.
Absolutely not. Those are
Man,
facts. Those
absolutely facts. Carlos, we truly appreciate it, man. Best of luck in your campaign. Look, I'm a supporter, even though I'm not a resident, but I'm already say, hey,
I am,
man,
and I got you, Carlos.
There you go.
That, thanks.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Tell everybody you know.
Yeah.
Lottie Dottie and everybody.
Everybody, that's right.
We truly appreciate it, man. God bless.
All right. Best of luck, Carlos.
Appreciate it.
Man, Cam, it's people like Carlos that continue to, just motivate me as far as just like a voter, seeing like, hey, there are great people out there that are doing good for their community, that are practicing what they preach, and that just mean good. I think that's really like the fallback where it comes to like voting, and especially for young people. But really, I mean, I know a lot of adults that are like, well, I haven't voted in about this amount. I'm not registered to vote at all, because they look at it as like a waste of time, and they're like saying, your vote counts or your vote matters. Really, does it really matter? Because there's so many. You have the corrupt politicians. I mean, let's be real. They're out there. It's probably there's a lot of them out there that are. It's all about money over morals, and it's not for for the people. There's some people that started off not meaning good for their community, and then it end up being like not the best, and they just turned out to be troubled and all this other stuff, man. But for you, Cam, I mean, how important is like election period like for you, as far just as a a resident? You've been in Virginia for how many years? Have you been in Virginia?
Moved down here in 2017.
2017. Okay,
6 years.
Okay. Yeah. But even like before then, like was like your first experience when it came to voting, was it like, it's just my duty? Like what was your like, what was that feeling like?
I mean, I think it is our duty, because to the way Carlos closed out, don't complain about who's in office if you don't vote. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even talking about like the president level, because that's just a whole other system of shit to get into. But like your local elections, even the primaries, like you got to get out there and have your voice and make your voice heard. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So I do feel it's our civic duty to kind of put our name down there and behind a candidate. But I'm also not the super political guy. I obviously I see a need for it. Obviously that's the way our country is constructed. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand with it.
And I'm with you too, boss, because I like watching news, but like on a different, not really just like getting point. I mean, I like to get different views from different sides, but it's just like on the the commentating side, on the broadcasting side, I like to see the different styles and things like that.
Yeah.
So like for me, it was always like I've heard my parents talk about as far as how important it is to do it. Like you mentioned, it's our civic duty as a citizen to, definitely cast our vote. But it's, I think in the past few years, like when I was in college, I wasn't really paying attention too much. I was just focused on like studies, having a good time with my friends, yada, yada, yada. But like as a business owner now, as a, as a husband, as a homeowner, it's like, okay, wait a minute, I got to really go in depth with this, seeing, okay, this and that and the other. And, like you said earlier, come away from the presidency, local elections is extremely important, probably more important than on the national level, because the state level, that's your home. That is your home that's going to be occurring. And it looks like we have our second guest on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Bill Curtis. Hold on, let me get my notes all right. There we go. Bill Curtis is the Virginia Beach Republican Party chairman. We're honored to have him on. Let me bring him on right now. Mr. Curtis, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Doing great. Thank you so much for putting out the time out your busy schedule to be on the show with us. As you know, this is the last day for early voting. I wanted to actually speak with you and get some insight as far as what are Virginia Beach residents, set aside from Republican voters, but what are Virginia Beach residents that you've spoken with? What is their main priority that they want to see in a candidate?
Well, they want to see integrity. They want to see honesty, and they want to see transparency. But they also want to see someone who has strong moral values, who respects the right to life, and who insists upon security, good law enforcement, secure borders, strong military, just the basic, desires of nearly every American, regardless of political perspective.
Mm-hmm. As at your position as the chairman of the Virginia Beach Republican Party, Virginia Beach, Virginia is the largest city in the state of Virginia Beach. In the state of Virginia. And how are you? You have a lot of candidates representing the Republican Party in your city. About 18 total. You have, of course, Jen Kiggins, who is running for the 2nd Congressional District against Democratic incumbent Elaine Lurie. You have about 10 council. I think Candace running for city council. I know Chris Taylor pretty well, and a few others. How satisfied are you with with the candidates representing the party right now?
Well, first of all, we have just tremendous candidates. We couldn't be more proud and enthusiastic about our city council and school board candidates. We think that they have the right qualities and characteristics. We think that they are focused appropriately, and we think that any of them who is elected would do just a great job, would do right by the party and for the city. So we're very comfortable and very enthusiastic about each of those people who has stepped forward.
Wow, that's awesome. How has the campaign season been for you? I know busy with so many events going on. Have you got plenty of sleep, sir? I mean, I talked this with all the candidates and local leaders going on.
If the leader's getting a lot of sleep, or the candidates, they're not doing their jobs. Okay, it's just the nature of the beast, and you know that. People live and breathe this. The passions are running high, and if you think they were higher last week, you have no idea what it's like today, tomorrow, and on Tuesday. My goodness, it is at a fever pitch, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Excuse me. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. And these people are just engaged 100%. They're all invested because they believe in the country, they believe in our state, they believe in our city, and they feel that they can make a difference, each and every one of them. So, we're doing everything we can to support them, to encourage them, and to make sure that they have every advantage possible to be successful on Tuesday.
Awesome.
So, Bill, just a little bit about yourself. Exactly what is your role as the party chairman?
Well, first of all, our goal of the party is to get conservatives elected into public office. That is the goal of the party. So my job is to make sure that number one, we pull all the Republicans together, that we provide the big tent that we talk about a great deal, that we have a place for us all to come and talk, share our thoughts, plan strategies, and identify appropriate candidates. That's what we do. We have to identify appropriate candidates who represent the principles and values, the morals that we all believe in. And then we vet them, and then we determine which ones best represent us, because quite a few do, but you got to have the best of the best. And then we do everything we can to support them. We hold monthly meetings. We hold a breakfast every Saturday, and where we encourage not only our candidates to attend, but all of our elected conservatives as well, and city council, school board, delegates, state senators. And when we have a congressperson, that person is there as well. We encourage it because we want all of our Republican community to come out. Keep this in mind. Most people complain that they never have access to their electeds. Well, we provide that opportunity every Saturday morning for them to come out and meet them and ask them questions. Had a great time this morning doing just that. Senator Kiggins was there, who's running for the 2nd District. And of course, State Senator John Cosgrove was a guest speaker. And we had some others there as well. One of the city council members, all answering questions. Enthusiasm was just wonderful. It was palpable in there. But that is what we do as a party. We provide the support, the infrastructure to make sure our candidates are successful.
You mentioned Senator Cosgrove's quick story. So I'm good friends with his son Mike. So I got to talk with him and meet him at the Chesapeake Wine Fest. Really great dude. And also I have a buddy of mine that attends the weekly meetings, the breakfasts. Is it held at Golden Corral?
It is.
I got a bone to pick. Out of all the places, Golden Corral, real. I mean, like you got to do better.
Well, let me tell you something. During COVID, everything shut down, and they're the only place that embraced us. Now they had severe restrictions on, seating and standing in line and gloves and other things, but we were okay with that. And people had some place to come. Everyone was locked down, but they could come to Golden Corral. And guess what? We open it up in the morning, so all the food is fresh and hot. Okay, that's one of my concerns about a buffet as well. But
that's what I was going to say. I would think the buffet would be the last place I would want to go to in the heat of COVID.
Well, I know, and we did. But as I said, they had strict regulations on how they allowed us there. And yeah, you're right. And everyone had to be masked, but we still did it. And there was not one person that I'm aware of the past 2 years that has said that they were infected by COVID there. But of course, you can't say it's in the air, so you really don't know. But the bottom line is that they embraced us. They love us there. We love them. The wait staff, we take care of them. So it's a good place. I never would have envisioned it. Hey, listen, my son was a scout. Scouts love Golden Corral because those boys can eat as much as they want. As long as they can. And after he became an Eagle Scout and moved on, I said I'd never go there again. Well, here I am. Okay,
back at the corral.
That is funny.
Yeah,
that is funny. That's funny. Well, before we let you go, Bill, I have to ask, just to, throw in, you being a man of color, you're the chairman of the Virginia Beach Republican Party now. Have you got any, has it been difficult? Has it been easy holding that position?
Yes, it has. My wife and I have been Republicans all of our adult life. And of course, all our families are not. And and that is a difficulty, but we manage it. And because we respect anyone's political affiliation. I don't care if you're independent, libertarian, Republican, Democrat. So, and the same thing is true in the community at large. My fraternity, other organizations I'm a part with, most, because they're of color, are Democrats or independents, one or the other. So it is challenging. And yes, being the leader of the party here, and it's predominantly white, of course. But what ties us together is the commonality of thought, the principles and values, what we believe in. And of course, I got to tell you, there are people that I take exception to in the Republican Party, just like I do in the Democrat Party. We don't always agree. And yes, you get challenged because there are people who say, well, you're Black. How can you be a Republican? We don't trust you. Well, that's their problem, because I'm as Republican as any of them, as conservative as any of them, but I'm common sense. There are things I am simply not going to do. I don't care if I'm a Republican or Democrat. And I'm not going to buy into all of the far-fetched ideas that the extremists in both parties seem to embrace. So to answer your question, it's challenging. But, there's some great people in this party, and they have supported me and embraced me, and I do the same to them. And, we just handle the outliers as we need to.
Well, you know what, Bill, we truly appreciate you putting out the time out your schedule, talking with us. Again, here on this show, we are, we're nonpartisan. We bring on people. We have people from all different perspectives, different opinions, and we truly appreciate the time. You're always invited. And yeah, man, we definitely want to have you on back on, but enjoy the rest of your day. I know it's going to be busy. This is the last day for early voting, and as well, election day happening November 8th. Bill, how can people, if they're interested in becoming, want more information on the Virginia Beach Republican Party, is there any way they can, contact you or get in contact with the organization?
rpvb.org. That is our website. rpvb.org. Just go to that website and it'll give you all the information you need on how to become affiliated. And we want people of color to come and join us, to ask questions, not just to join us, but to come in and take a look at us, because they may not want to be a part after that. And you know what? We may not want them either. That's why we have to have a relationship development there. So yes, we encourage people to come. We have a huge victory party at the Westin Hotel in Town Center on Tuesday evening, starting at about 8 o'clock. Large press presence will be there. We expect 300 to 400 people. It's going to be a nice party. Okay, so come on over. You're more than welcome, and we'd love to have you there. And of course, that big rally with the governor at Ballyhoo's on Monday evening at 8 o'clock. It's going to be huge. So we encourage you to come there as well. Take pictures and interview people. That'd be great. Yeah.
I might stop by as long as it's not Golden Corral catered. As long as it's not Golden Corral, but I might stop by.
Hey, man, listen. I enjoyed my fried chicken this morning at Golden Corral.
Well, look, Bill, thank you so much, my friend. You have a great one.
Yeah, and you too. You guys have a great day.
Take care, Bill.
And we have another guest lined up, but we're going to do a quick commercial break, my man. And when we come back, we'll have Mr. Vernon Tillage. Vernon is the candidate for the Portsmouth City Council. A really great dude. I had the opportunity to speak with him on my radio show, V-Point, and he's just smart dude, intelligent. Can't wait to talk with the man. But look, we're going to do a quick commercial break, but when we come back with more Our Smooth Club podcast, a show where everyday men discuss everyday topics.
I'm a master of my mind. Manipulate the masses with motivation to move. This is the only chair I'll volunteer to sit in. Spinning and spinning. Each loop past the mirror, I see a better me. In true destiny, confidence is key, so these 2-week cleanups won't be memories. Hey barber, do you think it's possible to reshape the temple that holds my thoughts? Shape up in the hub makes me bold my walk, cause sometimes a lineup could be your savior. Do you think it's ironic that I can monetize my work when I stick to the master plan and get my taper? No more thoughts of getting burned by the system, and this new product doesn't burn my taper. Thank you. Let's normalize uncovering our bodies from that sheet, and we look stunning when it comes off, because we are masters of our mind. Manipulate the masses with motivation to move. Each cut allows more and more room to grow.
All righty. We are back, and we are honored to have my man, Mr. Vernon Tillage. Vernon, what's going on with you, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, Vernon?
How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Doing pretty good out here early voting, trying to make sure we greet the voters.
Okay.
I
We appreciate the time.
Well, look, man, Cam, I gotta speak, highly on Vernon, man. I was so honored to talk with him because would you believe? Okay, so Vernon is a candidate running for Portsmouth City Council, but he's been elected. He's serving on the Portsmouth School Board, elected at age 26. Vernon, you're 27, 28 right now?
28. I will be 29 in January.
And running for running for local office, man. I think that is so inspiring, especially just for young people like us. Well, like me, I don't know about Cam,
Nah.
I got it. But no, I think it's really inspiring because we were just talking earlier the importance when it comes to vote, for young voters, man, and getting more involved on their local elections, having what's going on in their local communities and things like that. How important for you is continue to help change the narrative and spread the word as far as getting young people to vote and get out there and be more active?
Most definitely. So, today I've been out here since we opened at 9 o'clock, and we've had quite a few first-time voters come out. And so I've had some conversations with those individuals, and they just want to know more. They want to know how to get involved. They want to be educated on the issues. And unfortunately, in Portsmouth, there's a lot of different issues that many of our citizens just are not educated on. The city has not done a good job of providing the resources, and and that's how a lot of times power is kept, is by not educating your people on what's going on. And so this entire campaign cycle, we've been out here trying to educate the young people, educate older people, and really bridge that gap between the younger generation and the older generation. And we're starting to see some momentum. And when you see the younger people getting involved and the older people working together, I'm telling you, it's an unstoppable force, because the older folks, they have the wisdom and the experience that younger folks don't have. But what young folks have is the new ideas and the energy and the stamina to get it done. And So, I'm big on educating young folks. I'm big on just educating the community as a whole. And so hopefully our education is continuing to work. And even after the election, I pledge to many people to continue educating people on what's going on. I mean, because that's the only way we're going to be able to correct what's going on, not only in Portsmouth, but across the nation.
Awesome. Man, Vernon, so what are some of your top priorities that you plan, once elected, or just that you're fighting for with your campaign right now? What are some of your top priorities that you want to do in the city of Portsmouth?
Yeah, so I have 4 platform items that I'm running on. Number 1 being improving public safety. Number 2 is investing in fixing our infrastructure, investing in education, as well as recruiting economic development. They're my 4 issues. In my opinion, you can't have a thriving city without having those 4 things work together. And so, and in Portsmouth, we have an issue going on right now with a lot of people not trusting the city. We have a lot of integrity issues going on here in Portsmouth, and speaking to the voters, those are some very important things to them. Is who they can trust, and are they going to be able to see their tax dollars actually go to use for them? And so, that's what we're hearing, and we're speaking to it.
Yeah, you honestly just answered my next question to you. What I was going to say, what are and you may have a different answer, but what are some of the hurdles that you've kind of had to get over in in the recent couple years or however long in regards to your seat?
Yeah, most definitely. So being a young person is a hurdle in itself. I think that in 2020, when I ran for office, a lot of people were saying, you're a little bit too young, you need to wait your turn. But unfortunately, 15,197 people thought otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were able to get there, and so this time, we're not hearing that. We're hearing that we need a change. We need fresh new ideas. We need your young vision and leadership. And so I think we're on a good path. And overall, the hurdles in general is just making sure that people can trust people, and that's the biggest problem. People just don't know who to trust, and so how can we fix that? And that's what everybody's concerned with right now is who can they trust.
Yeah.
And Vernon, I want to talk more on that trust word, because recently on my radio show I had Councilman Paul Battle on, and great conversation as far as with his up for re-election, what is he going for, but we also had to bring up everything that is going on right now, like you said, in Portsmouth, not having the trust from the citizens, from the community. Recently, or I don't know if you can remember, there was a councilwoman that made viral video history by basically just going off during a council meeting, and it was in regards to reasoning why they just not agreeing with each other, but it went viral. And then it turned out to a former employee suing the city, mentioning a few council members' names. I'm not going to mention their names, but it's just showing is bringing up like corruption, is bringing where is the trust? And wasn't that difficult? Was that ever difficult for you coming out saying, look, I want to run for council, knowing all this stuff is going on in the city of Portsmouth?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Whenever you have allegations like that being brought up, the whole environment becomes cloudy. It's something that people you have to really think about. You really have to pray on it and say, do you really want to get involved in this? And trust me, there was many a time I kept questioning myself, saying, do I really want to do it? But at the end of the day, the people have been asking me. The community needs it, and I've prayed on it so many times. And I said, you know what? When I speak about integrity, I speak about my character. I don't speak about what other people may be doing. What they're doing is what they're going to do, and the people are going to hold them accountable. But what I will do is just talk about my character, and that's what we've been pushing is my integrity, my leadership, my efficiency, and it's starting to resonate. But yeah, we have a lot going on out here, and I'm hopeful that the citizens of Portsmouth are waking up and realizing what has been done and the direction that we need to go in. And unfortunately, a lot of people supported some of these individuals who are there today that are on the council, and we're hearing from a lot of people saying they have buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
And so all we can do now is November 8th. We got an opportunity to fix it. So.
Yeah, I have to applaud you, Vernon, because one, just finding because I know what I was doing in that age, and it definitely wasn't even remotely thinking about becoming involved in politics, you know. So I have to applaud you for that one, but I too have to applaud you for having the perseverance to not listen to, you know, the old guard has to, you know, kind of move over before you barge your way in. So, you know, round of applause to you. I just wanted to say that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and Vernon, you know, I've all of my Portsmouth friends, I've been, telling them, hey, Vernon. I'm no resident, but man, I'm rooting for you. What are ways people can continue to support? Today is the last day for early voting, but November 8th is the big day. How can some of our listeners and viewers continue to support and support your election?
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely spreading the word, going on social media, sharing some posts. We're still taking financial contributions at www.vernontillage.com, as well as we're looking for poll workers. If people want to come spend a couple hours at a poll on Tuesday to pass out literature, we need you. So there's still ways to get involved. We're looking for help all the way up until 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So, I'll take all the help I can get, and just really spreading the word. And I think we're doing a good job getting the word out there, but it never hurts for repetitiveness. It never hurts.
Awesome, man. Well, Vernon, look, we truly appreciate it, man. I know you're busy, last day of early voting, but look, take care. God bless. Best of luck on your campaign, man. I know you're doing great things in your community, and can continue to change in the narrative, man. Just continue to change the narrative and getting those young voters out there. So we truly appreciate it, man. You're always invited.
No problem. I appreciate it. See y'all later.
All right, then. Take care, Vernon.
So, man, let me tell you something. 26 years old, elected at school board, and now pursuing a higher office at age 28. Like you said, Cam, hey, at that age, I do not want nothing to do in politics. I'll be on the back end, but not. No,
we had a conversation about this, a personal conversation, not on the pod, but we just in looking at who the more noted politicians are, they're all, for the most part, older white men. You know what I'm saying? And when you look, and how does that represent us? How does that represent me? How does that represent you? So just to see him wanting to get into office at such a young age, I hope he becomes one of those barrier breakers for people, even, or for kids. And I don't want to even say kids, but younger folks even there after him. I think it's dope.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We have another special guest on board waiting backstage. But for those who are tuned in and listening, you are checking in with the Our Smooth Club podcast, a show where everyday men discuss everyday topics, ways to support our show. Hey, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rugged Evo TV. Check us out on all podcast platforms, whether that's Apple, Spotify, iHeart, you name it, as well as on the Global Vision Network on Roku. We truly appreciate it. We continue to try and help just change the narrative here, as you see just by the past few guests we've had on, different backgrounds, different age groups, but all trying to do good for their community. So just wanted to throw that out there. But our next guest we have is Mr. David Washington. David Washington is the chairman for the Democratic Party for the city of Chesapeake, my hometown. So excited to have him on. Let me bring on David right now. David, what's going on with you, boss?
Good morning,
What's
David.
going on, man? Out here working hard. My apologies. So glad you had my brother Vernon on before me. Not only is he a Portsmouth school board member running for city council, he's a fellow chair, and the life of a chairman is never easy. Not only are you juggling, dealing with stuff you got to go on yourself, but in terms of Vernon, his own campaign, he's got to deal with other folks that are running too. And I know that that's an arduous task. So, all praises to him and the work that he's doing out in Portsmouth. We're out here doing our thing in Chesapeake. I'm literally, I'm in my car because I'm at an event right now, us trying to get folks to go out and knock on these doors and get folks out there and get the word out.
Well, man, we truly appreciate you putting out the time out your busy schedule, because I know this is crunch time. This is the last day of early voting, and then November 8th is the big day. But again, I want to thank you for being on, because you also have a busy task too, being the chairman for the Democratic Party in the city of Chesapeake. Right now, I'm looking at candidates on both parties, just the amount of candidates representing each party. And, you know, the Democratic Party, it's at a low number, but it's very, you know, you have some great candidates. You have, of course, Councilwoman Ella Ward, who's up for re-election. She's been in office for a very long time. We have my good friend, Mr. Les Smith, who we've had on the show. He's running for council, as well as you have a couple of newcomers. I see Pat King, who serves on the school board. She's running for council, as well as Sateria Brown Yearling, young, and really all the candidates being of color as well. And you have a great candidates for school board. Dr. Auguste is a good friend of mine. Mahalia Huddle, Bradley E. Moore, and Jeremy Rodden. So you have some great candidates, man. How satisfied are you with just the candidates that you have representing the party in the city of Chesapeake?
I am so excited and I'm so proud. This Sunday, we're going to have an ad in the Clipper, the Virginia Pilot, highlighting the different backgrounds of our candidates. And in doing that research and putting in that ad together, you know, I was extremely impressed with the backgrounds of our city council candidates. Les Smith, who you talked about, served as a police officer in this city for over 28 years. He's a native son of this city. Dr. Ella Ward, who's been on city council for over 16 years. Before that, she was on Chesapeake School Board. She has a wealth of knowledge and experience. Sateria Brown Yearling, who's a new face, but she has a law degree from Regent University, and is extremely qualified. She sits on boards and commissions at the state level. Very impressive track record. Dr. Pat King, who's a medical physician, who has served us on school board, and now she's running for city council. Our city council representatives and folks that want to run for city council, their resumes are extremely impressive. Our school board. Now, I will talk about the other side, but I will say this: we purposefully recruited folks to run for school board who have experience actually in a classroom. Okay, that was important to us. We didn't want to just pick folks that believed in the demagoguery or believed in a certain system, or they want to push CRT and all the other foolishness that folks they're trying to stoke fear in folks. We actively recruited folks that had actually been in the classroom, taught students, and have that experience. So our school board candidates are folks that have been in the classroom, have served as leadership in unions, in the teachers union, folks that have master's degrees in education and in history, and some of our school board members, Dr. Auguste, has served as a principal, assistant principal. So we're very proud of our candidates. And I do want to say this: our ballot this year is a little bit different in Chesapeake. When you look on the ballot, on the front, it's going to say you're going to vote for Congress and City Council. In order for you to vote for the school board candidates, you have to flip the ballot over. Okay. Sometimes at some of the polls, they're telling folks to flip the ballot over. Some polls they're not. So we're trying to make sure we get the word out. If you want to vote for school board, you must flip the ballot over, and all the school board races are on there on the back. Also, Jeremy Rodden is running in a special election. So you only vote for one person in that special election. We're asking you to vote for Jeremy Rodden in that special election. It's a 2-year seat. One of the former school board members, she vacated the seat, so that seat is up this time around for the next 2 years. Somebody will hold that seat for 2 years and have to run again. But I love our candidates. We have a strong group of candidates, and we are very excited and very confident that we can come out with some wins this time around.
Now, David, are you what I hear going on right now is that you have a lot of voters that are really like undecided, independent voters. You have some candidates that are either Democrat that say, I'm going to go independent. Like they're not satisfied with certain leadership. Right. Now, as for just the city alone, I can't say that because most of the people in office are Republicans. There are, all conservatives are pretty outnumbered when it comes to council. I believe we have like 2 people that are Democrats on city council out of like what 8 or 9.
And
But
that's the there is a perception. I know what you're
mm-hmm.
getting at. There is a perception in Chesapeake that Chesapeake is hardcore Republican. Because right now, seven Republicans to 2 Democrats on city council, 8 Republicans to 1 Democrat on school board. But why is that? Because we've been having May elections where only 20% of the population in Chesapeake show up and vote, and 20% is a high number. 20% is high turnout in those May elections. But thanks to Senator Lionel Spruill, Senator Luis Lucas, Delegate Cliff Hayes, Delegate Nadarius Clark, they went to they when after their elections last year, one of the first things they did was push to get elections in November for local candidates. Senator Lionel Spruill took the lead. He wrote the legislation, and he got the votes to make sure that it got through in the Senate. And Delegate Cliff Hayes and Delegate Nadarius Clark, they worked it and got it through in the House of Delegates. So this is the first time that we're ever going to have November elections in Chesapeake. And why is that important? Justin Fairfax won Chesapeake. Barack Obama won Chesapeake twice. So this narrative that Democrats can't win Chesapeake is ridiculous on its face when you look at the numbers. And there are folks that want to see change in our city council. They feel like it's too stagnant. It's the same old folks. And we also feel like we have a great opportunity because there are a lot of new faces on the Republican side and the Democratic side. So we're definitely excited about our chances, and we are here working.
Awesome. Now as a as a Democrat, let's go out of like just the local part, but like even for like higher representatives representing the party, there's a lot of Democratic voters that are not satisfied with some of the officials going on. What would you have to say? Like, are you satisfied going on what's going on right now as far as like what the Democrats are voting on certain bills and acts and things like that?
Well, from a national perspective, there's only but so much a party can do if you don't have Republicans. The way, and this is the thing that I try to explain to folks. The way our system is set up is that you have to have some type of support from the minority party. The minority party has to have some type of buy-in at the Senate level, at the Congress level, in the House of Representatives, and especially in the Senate, because the Senate has these what they call filibuster rules, where you got to have so many Republicans on the minority Republicans actually vote, and usually it's like around 10 Republicans have to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to support this too in order for it to pass, because the Senate is supposed to be where the grown folks are. The House of Representatives, they can be young, they can be idealistic, they can be just focused on their agendas. The Senate, the original concept was that the Senate was supposed to be with the mature elected officials, the elected officials that have been there for years, that understand the system, understand the importance of working together. That's all changed. With Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz and them guys, they are just as hardened as their Republican counterparts in the House of Representatives. So they don't want to support nothing. And when they do that, it stagnates positive change that can happen out of Washington, D.C. But they do that on purpose. They do that on purpose because they know elections. They know an election is coming up, and the average person that doesn't understand that process can get frustrated because it's like, well, what is Joe Biden doing? But Joe Biden needs a Congress, a Senate, and a House of Representatives that can work together. And if the opposition party is saying absolutely not, we're not voting on nothing, we're not passing nothing, we ain't doing nothing, we're just gonna sit here, collect our check, and pontificate every chance we get on Fox News. That's what they're going to do. and that can be frustrating. It's frustrating to me. Somebody that knows the process.
Kim, you got anything to say on that one?
No. He elocuted well. I have nothing to add or ask on that one.
Well, David, we truly appreciate it. We know you're busy all day today and throughout the until November 8th. So we truly appreciate you putting out the time out your schedule, man, to talk with us here on the show. What are ways people can at least, people of Chesapeake, if they're interested in helping out with the Democratic Party, Chesapeake,
This is what
what
we
are ways they
need.
can
I'm gonna give y'all my email address: davidwashington757@gmail.com. davidwashington757@gmail.com. Real easy. Shoot me an email. Tell me, hey, I want to be a poll worker. I want to work the polls on election day, or I want to put some lid on the doors, or I want to help a senior. Right now, that's what we're doing right now. I'm about to give a ride to 2 seniors at a nursing home. Give them a ride to go vote because the polls closed today's the last day to vote early in Chesapeake, and the polls are going to close at 5 o'clock. So when I get off of here, I'm going to go get them and go give them a ride to the polls. So if folks can do that, help our seniors out, make sure they go vote. We give them an opportunity to allow them to have their voice be heard. That'd be great. So doing one of those 3 things will be much appreciated.
Awesome.
Cool.
David, we truly appreciate it, boss man. Take care. We'll be in touch. And we truly appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
David. You too.
Yep.
Man, Cam, one thing I really enjoy about just having this opportunity to talk with all these different people represent different parties, different political positions, young, old. I think I don't know, man. I don't know about you. I'm always just like hyped to because my goal just in life in general, I've told you many times, is to change the narrative. I just want to change the narrative. I don't want them to look at us as saying, okay, judging a book by its cover and not seeing education,
Right.
not seeing compassion, not seeing what this person can do. It always just, I don't know, it just motivates me, man. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I told you I'm not super political. So I'm just the type that goes in, casts my vote, and keeps it moving. You know what I'm saying? I do like what you're saying about changing the narrative, and that's why I was kind of psyched about the young brother that came in and said that 28 years old going for office. I think that's dope. And then going a little further than changing the narrative, we just need to change the structure.
Absolutely.
Because at that point, that's the only way change comes. So
absolutely,
yeah.
man. Well, look, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have Dr. E.W. Claville, another good friend of mine, very, very educated man, an expert when it comes to politics, and just a great dude. I'm so excited to have him on the pod. So we're gonna be having a great conversation with him. But when we come back here with our Smooth Club podcast, a show where everyday men discuss everyday topics.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
I just love that commercial, Cam. I'm sorry. I wish I could play it again, but I'm not gonna be rude to our friend and our guest, Dr. Eric.
It ain't hybrid though.
Don't let Dr. Claville see my bad side. Look, he waiting in the backstage. Don't start, Cam. Don't do that. Look. We have our guest. We have our guest. Very honored to have Dr. E.W. Claville. Let me go bring him on in the stream. There we go. Dr. Claville, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, brother Ayrton. How are you?
Awesome. We are truly honored to have you on. Yes, welcome. A little bit about Dr. Claville. Dr. Claville is the director of the Center for African American Public Policy at Norfolk State University. He's also the host of the Claville Report podcast. I'm a huge fan of. I've already binge listened to all his shows, literally like last week. And he's also the host of another one of my favorite shows, radio shows called State of the Water on WNSB Hot 91.1 FM here in Hampton Roads, and where he talks with political leaders, just community leaders, just great conversations and needed conversations. And we're just, happy to have you on, Dr. Claville. How has everything been going? It's campaign season. This is very busy time right now.
Well, it's a busy time for everybody who's out there, but it's a great time for me and us political junkies. This is what we live for. This is it. So this is a great opportunity to talk about the important issues surrounding the races and who's in it, and really take a look at what's at stake. And I'd like to give a shout out to you as well. Definitely a young man that I admire. You have a passion, you had a vision, and you grabbed the horns of it and you took it, and you're growing. And I'm excited to see what you do. And I've had you on the show. You're a great supporter of WNSB, Hot 91, the Soul of VA, and we're all excited and proud of you. So, hey, the future's bright.
Thank you so much. I'm glad. I was glad Cam got to hear that, because Cam be dogging me sometimes, Dr. Claville. I'm sorry. You
gotta keep that man grounded, Dr. Claville. That's all I'm saying. You gotta keep him grounded.
That's it. You gotta have one. You gotta have one.
always, man. But Dr. Claville, we've had on just in the past past hour, we've had local candidates running for school board, city council. We've had representatives from the Republican Party in our area, as well as the Democratic Party. What are, in your opinion, what have you seen that a lot of the voters have been their main priority when it comes to just voting for candidates on a local election? What is their top priority that they're like, look, this is what I need, straightforward?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the local level, because a lot of times, well, first of all politics is local, right? And a lot of times we don't see that or understand that because we're focused on the national, which of course the national has a lot of the high dollar commercials, of course, is high stakes, and us being very close to Washington, D.C., the epicenter of all that is power in our country and in the world. I understand it. I get it. However, the policies that are passed on the federal level don't really help, or I would say impact, the day-to-day of citizens that you see. So why are local elections more important or just as important as the federal? Because these are the policies that govern how you live next to each other as neighbors. It governs how your children are educated in our schools. It governs how various policies in the city level and also in the county level surround our tax base, whether it be property taxes and the like. So, and these are the people that we see every day. They're going to see you at the grocery store, right? They're going to see me at the gas station pumping gas, right? So these are the people you see every day. These are the people that are impacting your lives that you can touch and say, hey, I have a question, or how can I get involved? So with that, how are voters looking at these issues on the local level? Well, again, it's the everyday. Why are my property taxes, personal property taxes going up, right? What am I getting for it? Why doesn't my child's school, which is across the street from us, have the resources from my colleague's school, which is 5 miles down the street? Right. So these are the issues that they're looking at and are concerned about. And when we take a look at what's happening on the economic level, right, socioeconomics plays a major part in everyday lives. Why? We all buy gas on a weekly basis. We all buy food on a daily basis. We all basically engage in the commerce process, selling and buying. So these are the main issues that a lot of voters are looking at, especially now with the level of inflation and also the level of uncertainty across the board.
Got you. And I'm glad you mentioned about gas prices, because really inflation has been the top percentage. I've been looking at different, polls and, statistics, and they're saying inflation is one thing, then, the abortion rights is probably second, and then so on and so on, going on with the candidates going on, the candidates running in our state. We have a huge congressional race between Democratic incumbent Congresswoman Elaine Loria,
Yes.
as well, and her opponent, Republican candidate Senator Jen Kiggins. Looking at that race, as a analyst, what
Yes.
do you see that is gonna be like what's the word I'm looking for? The
deciding factor.
The deciding factor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the deciding factor is going to be voter turnout of your base, period. Now, one very interesting thing about this congressional district that your listeners should understand is that this district was redrawn, and it included areas that Congresswoman Elaine Loria had not represented before. So you have a different demographics that's really shifting a lot of the support toward her challenger. It's more conservative. It's part of the state that embraces some of the former president's views as well. So these are some of the issues that she's dealing with as the incumbent, and these are some of the advantages that her challenger is enjoying. So what does that mean for these two candidates in winning this race? Right now, the polls show that this race is dead even. And this is the tightest race, congressional race in the country. And this is the most contested congressional race in the country. So millions of dollars have been poured into this particular race. You've seen the uptick in commercials. You've seen the uptick in attack ads. You've seen the uptick in the last couple of weeks, and it's only going to intensify. So with that being said, as I advise and as individuals ask me my opinion on these issues, I tell them it all depends upon who gets their base to the polls. Midterm elections is all about base voting. You know, you're going to be able to bring a couple, maybe 1% or half a percentage point, 2 at the most, over to your side for those who have not voted or those who voted for one particular party or one candidate, and they say, hey, we don't like that direction that we're going, if it's not that extreme. But ultimately, this race is won or lost based upon getting the high numbers of your base voters to the polls.
Wow.
So, Dr. Claville, I actually like to bring it back to you. So, one, what exactly is the Center for African American Public Policy, and two, what does the director of it do?
Sure. So the Center for African American Public Policy was created in 2019 here at Norfolk State University. It's a center that was created to provide a research base, and a think tank for African Americans and other, what I would like to say, people of color. I don't like to use the word minorities because it doesn't matter how large you are or small, you're never a minority, you're a powerhouse, right? So for other persons of color. And what it does is it basically provides an opportunity for academicians to publish papers and do research on various issues. It also provides a safe place for individuals of different views to have those conversations. So when I came on and hired as the inaugural director in 2019, we were very ambitious in our start. And with that, the fall of 2019, we held several forums. First being a criminal justice forum, where we partnered with community groups. We also had an energy forum in which we partnered with Dominion Energy, and also a housing forum where we looked at the housing situation as it relates to St. Paul's and others here in the city of Norfolk. And these were all research-based and community-based efforts. So we're bringing the community into the academic space along with the policymakers. In the spring of 2020, we instituted our federal and elected officials town halls. So we hosted our 2 U.S. senators, Senator Tim Kaine and also Senator Warner, here on the campus of Norfolk State. And of course, my very good friend and the smartest congressman in the entire House, Congressman Bobby Scott, who represents Norfolk State University in his congressional district. And we had our federal talks. And then, of course, COVID hit. But we also instituted our faculty scholars research program, where we had almost 20 scholars engage in research and publication, which you can see on our website at nsu.edu/CAMP, CAAMPP. So with that, we've had great success in our fundraising efforts, where we were able to secure our first endowment for the center as well, in order to host an equity and Equity Symposium and Lecture Series, which is endowed by Dominion Energy as well. So it's only the beginning. Like I said, we had a bold vision. I had a bold plan, and I was able to run with it, and we're very excited. Now, I will say that very soon I'll be transitioning out of that position, and we will have a new director and transition into another position of more where I can do greater things for the university and for the community.
Awesome. Before we let you go, Dr. Claville, I need to ask, what do you think the state of politics is like, or it's gonna be now? Because I'm just reading up, and recently, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, her husband was assaulted at his home. An intruder broke in, attacked him with a hammer. 82-year-old man, fractured skull, and you see politicians joke about it on the opposing side. You see them joke. I mean, our governor Youngkin said some poor choice of words, trying to be funny, but really was bad timing. The man said, nobody, no person in general should be assaulted, but we're gonna send Nancy back to San Francisco with her husband. And it's just, and you have some politicians that are for Halloween, their costume included a hammer. I mean, it's just it's kind of like just I don't know what to say. It's a childish act, and these are people that have all the power making laws going on in our community. What do you see politics going on just in the next few years, 10 years?
Well, hopefully it gets better, right? Political rhetoric has reached a level in non-civility that is unconscionable at this particular time, but it has been worse. People forget the hot summer of the 1960s, I want to say 65, 64, where we had over almost 150 documented what we call race riots, where the competing factions for the new America, and I call it the new America, the integrated America, were fighting against each other. So that was a turbulent time in our country. So it has been worse, but I will say the reason for that is our former president, Donald Trump. Donald Trump opened up that Pandora's box. We have a president that literally said anything he wanted to say and was just unapologetic, unprofessional, in a lot of what he was saying was just absolutely downright terrible. And he was tweeting that out as well. And one thing and of course, my master's degree is in library and information science. And what a lot of people don't understand is that those tweets that the president has becomes what we call part of the presidential record. So I fear that our children, our grandchildren are going to look back at these things 20, 25 years, 40 years later and say, what were y'all doing in this country? Is this how our president acts? So because of that, he basically spoke the heartbeat of a lot of people in our country. Outkast, one of the famous lines of one of my favorite rap groups of all time, said, the folks from 65 are still alive, right? So during that time, what you have now is individuals that are able to really speak in their hearts what they really feel. Now, that doesn't mean that doesn't come with some level of accountability. That doesn't mean that doesn't come with some level of scrutiny. That doesn't mean that it comes to some level of just basically calling individuals out for what it really is. Listen, I'm a believer in our country, our freedoms, that you should be able to believe what you want to believe and live the way that you want to live under the law, as long as it doesn't hurt your neighbor, right? Also believe in respect. So if you believe differently than I believe, I respect your view. But you better believe that you're going to respect my view, and we're going to shake hands and move on and live in harmony as we should. So I think that part is also missing. You don't have to agree with me.
The civil discourse.
Absolutely. You don't have to agree with me, but you have to respect me. Yeah. I believe that nobody should be canceled, right? For your views. But at the same time, I believe that there's no room for hate speech or hatred across the board when you effectuate that hate either. So we got to find that balance, that happy medium. And where is that? I think that's in starting what you're doing, having these discussions across the board, not just inviting people that agree with you, but people that you don't agree with, and say, hey, let's have this conversation and see what's best for our country.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Dr. Claville, man, I truly appreciate. Finally, because you're such a busy man. I know other news networks have contacted you. I know MSNBC, Fox, CNN. He put the time out of his busy schedule to come on our Smooth Club, Cam. I just gotta say that.
Well, listen, look, I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity, and like I said, I'm a big fan of yours as well. I have been viewing you from afar, and just really excited for what you're doing, and it's only going to grow. It's only going to grow. So I really appreciate what you're doing for the community as well through your foundation. Keep moving, keep growing, and Godspeed to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have a great one. And look, I'm gonna be tuning in Sunday to your show because I see you have Congressman Bobby Scott on your on State of the Water. So I'm gonna be tuning in.
Listen, also tune in to WTKR CBS as I will be doing the annual election show as well.
Awesome. Will do. Look, you have a great one, sir. We'll be in touch soon. Thanks again for coming. You're always invited. And like I said, have a great one. God bless.
Thank you, my friend.
Take care, doctor.
Look. All I gotta say is, Cam. Look, y'all gonna give me my respect. Look, all these friends I'm bringing on board, man. They speaking. Look, man.
You know I got a soundboard over here, right? Play with me if you want. All right, cool out, homie. But yeah,
this man about to mute me.
No, I can't mute you, but I could play some. I could play some sounds. But
you can play some sounds.
I'll leave you alone for now.
I appreciate it, Cam. I truly appreciate it, man. Look, we are down to the final stretch, man. We've completed a full jam-packed show, but we have our last guest, another great human being, great candidate, and just great person. I saw her go out. I think she's gonna come back in. Is Dr. Shirley Auguste. Dr. Shirley Auguste is running for the Chesapeake City School Board, and until she gets back, we'll just kind of hold it off for a few seconds until she gets back on. But man, what Dr. Claville was talking about, boss, was just, extremely important. They're doing things that are really bringing the community into some of these discussions, because they're the ones that are getting most of the mistreatment. They're trying to continue to understand. They're not understand, but just not having the platform, the privilege to speak on it, or to just tune into some of those conversations. So Dr. Eric Claville, he spoke everything important in existence, and just a great conversation. And let me see if hold on real quick. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna get our let me do a quick commercial break, and I'm gonna contact our guest. We're gonna do another commercial break. You are tuned into our Smooth Club podcast, a show where everyday men discuss everyday topics. This is our pre-election day special. We've been having many local candidates, leaders, state officials, community leaders, as well as political experts on this show. So we have fun all the time, but we try to also make it informative, so you can leave here learning something, because you can't be fun all the time. We got to have a little bit of seriousness in it. But we hope that you are informed and learning a lot from this episode. But let's take a quick commercial break, boss, and when we come back, we'll have hopefully have Dr. Shirley Auguste on. I think she was having some internet difficulties, but let's go to quick commercial break from some of our sponsors.
Let's do it.
I will let you.
Man, that commercial makes me want to grab a drink of Ingenious Gin right now. That Ingenious Gin looks some kind of good. But let's bring on our guest at this time, Dr. Shirley Auguste. Dr. Shirley Auguste is candidate running for Chesapeake City School Board. Oh, let me bring her on board. There we go. How are you doing, Dr. Auguste?
I am doing good. Can you hear in?
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you and see you.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if I was glitching or what. So
oh no, you're absolutely fine. Look, we truly appreciate you putting the time out your schedule coming on the show. I know you're extremely busy. It's the last day. I've been repeating it 1,000 times during the show. The last day of early voting. But November 8th is election day. You see, I'm supporting my dear friend Dr. Auguste. There we go. There's one of her cards right there for city council in the city of Chesapeake. So Dr. Auguste, let's first
school board.
By state school board. Excuse me, school board. I'm sorry. It's been a long show. I apologize. And I haven't had any breakfast yet. I'm hungry. No, but we truly appreciate it. So for school board, let's talk on just the love of education and why it brought you to this point in life to say, look, I want to run for school board for my city because I see that there's some things that we need to do differently. What made you want to do that?
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to both of you for having me on the show. I absolutely appreciate both of you and just this opportunity to share with everyone my passion and my love. First and foremost, I am a product of Chesapeake Public School, and being a product, I know Chesapeake Public Schools has a lot of great things to offer. Most of all, being on the school board is not just about one thing. It's about ensuring policies and procedures are being followed, people are being held accountable, and that everybody is working together collaboratively. My fear was that, there's not enough people that have been in the trenches or really understand the different levels of a school system. And I was like, you know what? I'm multi-ethnic. I have the experience. I've worked my way up from being a teacher's assistant all the way up to being a school principal. And now I'm a small business owner. As a school principal, I always work collaboratively with all of my parents and the small businesses in the community. And I just was afraid of what would happen if someone with my experience did not run. And all the other candidates are absolutely fabulous candidates, great background. I'm not one to throw shade at anyone, I do believe in my qualifications and my experience and the understanding of the role that a school board member is supposed to play. There's a saying I learned earlier this year was stay in your lane, and when I hear people say that to other people, I was like, stay in their lane? What is that? And I realized out of respect for other roles that are played, that everybody has a role. And whatever my role is, I should respect the other people in their role to let them do their thing. And then I support them in my role so we all can be successful. And the role of being a school board member is not an easy one. The role of being a superintendent is not an easy one. And so it's extremely important that everybody understand what is everyone's role and what role should everybody play. And so for me, my passion is education, is power.
Yeah.
And I want all of the kids in Chesapeake to understand that whether they want to go to college, they have the opportunity because they've had an excellent education. You hear a lot about people talking about, everybody don't go to college. Truth, but it shouldn't be because they're not able to. And it shouldn't be because somebody says, well, you didn't make all A's and B's, or, you a minimal child. There is no such thing as that. Some people just have to work harder than others to achieve a certain goal. And I do believe everybody wanted to go to be their choice to say, I can't, but I don't want to. I'm going to take an alternate path. And that is okay. But it is never okay to limit children or families because of financial status or beliefs about certain things.
Wow.
Dr. Auguste, you seem very spirited and motivated, and in part, my French, you seem like you want to get shit done, right? So my question to you, because when you're on a board, obviously,
Get
you
shit
know,
done. Get shit done. Get shit.
when you're on a board, there's always hurdles, like, you know, maybe conflicting what should I priorities with other board members or whatever the case may be, right? How do you ensure that you're going to get things done from your position in the position that you hold?
First and foremost, making sure everybody goes to the training offered by the Association of School Board. Because there's going to be 6 new seats, 6 brand new people.
Wow.
The first thing to do is make sure all those people go to that training and understand the role of a school board member. It's not about our personal agenda. It's not about our personal beliefs. So that's the first thing. The second thing is understanding that I'm one of 9. It takes 5 votes to get anything done. 5 votes to make a decision of any sort. To get things done, it's to support the superintendent that is running the district. It's his job to make sure policies and procedures are followed. Administrators, teachers, supervisors, coordinators are all held accountable to do the right thing and follow the policies and procedures that have been implemented and that are documented for us to follow. It shouldn't be this one administrator is holding all of their people accountable to get things done and not being supported, while this one, it's loosey-goosey and it's free will. Everybody do what they want, how they want, where they want. And they're like, oh, okay, we friends. It's okay. You get all the resources because you have money on this side. No. So for me, coming in to get things done is to make sure everybody, first of all, know their role, stay in their lane, support the superintendent, know the policies and procedures that have been implemented for our city. It's not coming in, throwing the handbook out. It's coming in, learning all that is in the handbook and how we are going to work collaboratively together to support the good things that are happening and improve the things that need to be improved. Follow federal law and guidelines. And if there are state guidelines, and we must evaluate them, taking into consideration that we have 250 plus citizens in Chesapeake and over 16,000 students in the school system. So to answer your question, it's not a one-woman show, but I'm going to do my very best to make sure that people are trained and know their role and to stay in their lane and do what is right for every single child in this city and family, because of the fact we will never 100%, but we should at least strive to satisfy and ensure all 99.9, and I don't want to leave out that 1%, but all 100% have been heard and helped in the way that they need to be helped.
Well, look, all I got to say is, Cam, that's how you end the show right there. I'm so happy we saved the best for last. I truly am, because Dr. Auguste, and I'm not just saying this as a friend, but you are truly, doing great things. I mean, with your learning center, for one, which is not available just for students, but for adults as well. And you're bringing forth great ideas, and you're a person that's not going to put up with the BS. I mean, that's the vibes I get. It's like, look, I'm straightforward, no chaser kind of person. So that's what I get from you. And I think that's what a lot of voters want to see in a local official, and even on a state official, even higher than that. They want to see the truth. They want to see the honesty. They want to see the authenticity, and that's what we get out of you, Dr. Auguste. What can we do to help support the show? I mean, support the show, Lord have mercy. Support your campaign. And again, this is last day of early voting, but November 8th is coming up soon. So how can people support your campaign and just support your movement?
I appreciate everybody that has been helping, and that are willing to continue to support. Some of the ways that they can reach out to me, reach out to Arrington, and you can get my information. We need help at the polls to hand out ballots. What I'm asking is anybody and everybody that is supporting and helping with the polls or have already voted. If you have already voted during early voting, then share with others the sample ballots, the CEA PAC ballot, the the Chesapeake Democratic sample ballot. I believe in giving people choices. Yes, I want everybody to vote for me. And I pray that everybody will vote for me. And I do know there are other candidates out there as well. I have been endorsed by both the Chesapeake Education Association Political Action Group, CEA PAC, as well as the Chesapeake Democratic Committee. I have quite a few endorsements. The Hampton Roads Black Caucus have endorsed me. Mom's Action Demand. But they all do not support everybody that is on the Chesapeake Democratic Committee sample ballot. I'm going to say that. And so for me, you can go to my webpage. You can see who have been endorsed into some of the same committees that I have been endorsed. But seeing how I am endorsed by the Chesapeake Democratic Committee, I do hand out this Chesapeake Democratic sample ballot. And so if you want to support me, find one of those organizations that you see the people you want to support to help hand out sample ballots. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you. I have met every single one of the candidates that are running for Chesapeake Public School Board. And you know what? I have absolutely nothing negative to say about not one of those people. They all have their own views and opinions. And to me, that is the reason why it's all very important that all of us go through the training offered by the National Association of School Board. But I want people to help get out the sample ballots. The only reason I'm going into about the other organizations is because I did meet someone who was giving out a sample ballot, and they were frustrated because they were not aware it was only one party and there were other people they wanted to support. And so I want people to be aware. I believe in being aware of who's out there, and therefore find the association that has my endorsement, that have given me their endorsement, and see the other people that they support. And you make the decision how you want to help me. But it is going to be by giving out the sample ballots. And anything else is get my name out there. Text everybody you know. Vote for Dr. Shirley P. Auguste for Chesapeake Public School Board. Shirley P. Auguste, August with an E. And this way, everybody will know Shirley P. Auguste, August with an E.
Like that was just such a pleasant, that was just such a pleasant tone when she said that too, Cam. Like August with an E. Like I felt like I was hooked on phonics for a second. I'm like, syllables started coming. I love it. I love it. Dr. Auguste, thank you so much. Again, God bless. Best of luck on your campaign. You got my vote. And all my friends and family. So take care. God bless. Best of luck again on your campaign. And thanks so much for talking with us.
Take care and good luck.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. And thank you, both of you, for what you do and continue doing great things.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated.
Man, what a great show. Before I end everything, man, I got to shout out just friends of mine. Again, we are a nonpartisan show, but I do got to root for my friends. Of course, Councilwoman Ella Ward, she's up for re-election for the city council. Boom, got that right there. Of course, I had my brother Carlos Clanton. Look, I have all the paraphernalia and paper, literature on this table. Carlos Clanton, Norfolk School Board chair. Of course, we had Dr. Shirley Auguste for the city of Chesapeake School Board. Bam. My friend Carly West Galeese, School Board in the city of Norfolk for Ward 1, not Ward 3, but Ward 1. Of course, Mr. Les Smith running for council in the city of Chesapeake. Oh, I'm covering the face and all that great stuff. So we truly appreciate all of them. And so many people. And lastly, Dr. Willard Maxwell got his stuff right here. So Cam, man, we did it. A good show, another great show. It was a long one, but we made it through. And I hope, I just hope people got a lot of, just informative information with the show, man. I think this was it was needed. Again, tying into election day, and it was a great show, man.
I agree.
Awesome. Well, fam, thank you so much again for tuning into another great episode of our Smooth Class show, where everyone discuss everyday topics. Again, you can tune into new episodes every Saturdays at PM on our YouTube channel, Rugged Evo TV, as well as all podcast platforms. So look, again, every Saturdays at 7 p.m. Take care. God bless. We out.